Let's talk about feedback real quick. So we found the bug at the end, which we, apparently it's already been a known issue, so we don't have to worry about that. But I found it! It's on stream for everyone to see. The big thing I would say is they should, I think they should work a little bit more on feedback. They're doing good so far. There are the little details, like you see the ships taking damage. They change color when they take shot damage, which is good. Maybe they didn't want to do that for the main station. They gotta do something with the main station, because right now, as it is, the main station doesn't do anything. The health bar doesn't. The station itself doesn't change dynamically at all. It doesn't flash when it takes damage. You know, anything. You know, give us something. If you want to do something minor, maybe try. Maybe try making it flash. I think it'd be cool if they gave it like dynamic stages, like the station like became like more fire, or like more destroyed parts started falling off as with damage over time. You know, after it hits like certain damage threshold, the ship changes to a different damage threshold. Like it's like a preset scripted animation after it hits this threshold. However, I know they're not that big of a studio, and I know they're trying to follow a deadline, so I don't know how feasible it is for them to do something like that. Although I do think that'd be a cool idea if they went somewhere with it. Either way, I do believe it would be smart to add more feedback, because it does make the game look a little bit more static right now, especially with the UI. They're going for more simplistic UI. This is very early on in the game. The game says beta, but this is clearly not a beta. This is not a beta. And from now on, I'm not calling any of these videos betas from now on. These are not betas. I have pissed off I have pissed off thousands of people at this point by calling this game a beta. And even though that's what they're calling it, I'm done. I'm not calling it a beta. Oh, chat's one behind. They're prototypes. That's what they are. So someone suggested maybe you should call them prototypes, or maybe they should call them prototypes instead. I'm like, that's a genius idea, because that's what these are. These are literally prototypes. So anyways, what was I going on about? Yes, so feedback is big. Health bar. UI simplistic, but again, it's very early on. They could have a vision for what they're doing for the UI, but the minimum they have to do with the UI is, I would say, add, again, feedback to it. When the the station, I always forget the name of it. When the station takes damage, have a little bit shown how much damage is taken, so we can compare it with the little penetrator bots to the bombers. Because you look down, and the thing is just down, 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 down. It happens really quick. It's great. It blends in. It happens really fast, and there's so much going on screen. It's a bullet hell. So sometimes you gotta focus on screen and then look down when you get the chance. And because it's that game where like you're timed, it's like when I get the chance to look down, sometimes you need to delay the health bar a little bit, show it going down, you know? Have it the end point so you know where it's going to the whole time. But then where it started from, have it get there. Maybe add some colors to it, too. I would argue this is probably more nitpicky. Maybe add more of an effect when the shield breaks. Not something drastic, but something to let the player know your shield is gone. Because it happens fast. And you take permanent damage when your shield's gone. So it helps when the game goes, your shield's gone. Right? Next thing you know, yeah, they go like full Doom Eternal mode. Where like, you shoot down shit, like your health bar goes down so fast, you shoot ships and grab health and... Somebody write that down, it's actually kind of a cool idea. I don't know. Anyways. What if they had a game mode where they did that? Dude, they should have an endless mode where they do that. You have to kill people just to like keep getting your health back super fast. It's like fucking dip. Oh my god. I'm excited to see if they're gonna have any more weapons in the future for upgrades. They just said there's upgrades, mostly for like the grid combat, but apparently ship upgrades too. I don't know what they're doing. It could be simple. It could be like just like 3 upgrades for all we know. It could be like a shit ton. I don't know. I'm excited. They added ship velocity thruster. Very good. I am only using that though because it's very nice. Very nice. I'm glad they added as an option. I'm so glad they did. Because people might prefer it differently. Right now, the controller does not interact with the pause menu at all. It is all keyboard-based. If I want to pause, I have to hit escape. And if I want to leave, I have to hit escape again. The controller does not do that. It plays, but it does not work in the pause menu still. Game is still very well optimized. I'm streaming at 4K with no stutters at all. I don't know what they're going to do about music. Because I love the music in this game. But it gets kind of repetitive the way it's currently set up, you know? Because there's not much going on sound-wise inside of the game. Maybe if they could make it dynamic as the situation develops. I mean, right now you hear the music change as you get to like one part to the next part. Because we get to Tibble, it's the Tibble music again. The Tibble music cuts fucking hard. I said that during the Tibble boss fight in my last stream. I'm saying it again. That song ends abruptly and cuts and repeats fucking hard. It is noticeable. Again, very early on, it could literally just be there in place to have sound. I don't know. Sound effect, it does still feel kind of empty on the sound department in general. Just they should add a reaction when you hit ships. Like maybe if you hit them, just a tiny noise. It's not really that noticeable, but it's enough for the player to realize it. It's just like when you shoot and you hit enemies, you hear a little bit of a noise of impact, just a bit where it's not noticeable enough where you're really just paying attention to that noise. I said I'm having a stroke. I think if they did that, have a little bit of a sound when you're hitting the target. Well, there currently is, actually. I don't know, it just sounds muted. I need to go test that out real quick. There might already be one. But then have like a bigger impact when it's about to die. Like its last 5, I guess it's like 10 because it's a bullet hell. Like last 5 or 10 shots change the sound effects of the impact to sound more hollow and a lot louder. Because then you know, target's about to die. Target's about to die. It's a quick brain process. It's just, target's about to die. That's it. And then they already have the big boom when it dies. So I would say maybe less of a muted sound when you're hitting the target. Make a noticeable sound difference when it's about to die. And then kaboom. Curse splat. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like haptic feedback. For hit confirmation. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I know how to describe that. You described it best, yeah. Because not much. It's what games already do. It's like it's tiny noise. It's just that was literally the phrase I was looking for. Haptic feedback. It's tiny. It's minor. It's there though. It's more noticeable. And I feel like it should get just a different noise too when they're about to die, so you can realize that target's about to go down. Because right now there's no way to tell when the target's about to die. It's just straightforward. Maybe instead of going orange when they get hit, they start getting hit a darker tint of red. That changes over time, or it's a threshold. It goes from orange to just red. Or maybe they should have shields too. Do they have shields? Should they have shields? Okay, so overall, the biggest thing we're all thinking here is definitely feedback. Overall, sound design, visual aid when it comes to health bar, or maybe the base when it's taking more damage, it can dynamically change a little bit. When you're shooting targets, maybe they show some sort of reaction when they're taking more damage and about to die. All same thing from the audio department in that regard. And I feel like this is kind of a problem. I don't know what they're planning in the games. This is very hard to say. Because I know they have a plan and they're looking for more of bugs and additions when it comes to, I don't know, they seem to be looking for more just like how they should fix what they already had. Because they already seem to have a plan underway. But I do have to say, the game does feel kind of straightforward, and if there's a lot of space battles like this, it's gonna get really bland really fast. I keep saying there's gonna be upgrades, man, there's gonna be upgrades, more people to fight. However, it's the flow of the game. It's that 30-second flow that people talk about all the time, especially like FPSs, you know? Like Halo had it, that 30-second fight. That very satisfying 30 seconds of fighting, and then you repeat that over and over and over and over to make the whole game. I feel like we're kind of lacking that here, because it's very straightforward. You're in a ship, you shoot, kill enemies, that's it. I mean, there's not much else to it. I mean, there's not much else to the loop. Maybe pick up, you kill enemies, sometimes they can drop a damage boost. If you kill bigger targets with a cruise missile, they'll drop a damage boost, right? That's how you guarantee that. Maybe make yourself more vulnerable, but each target drops a little pip of health. Maybe the way you kill enemies gives you, it depends how you kill each enemy. I mean, granted, because right now what they're trying to do is they're trying to make like, hectic, bullet hell, they want it hard! Ah! It's just like, hold on now, cool it. Maybe instead of just making it harder, we should consider how to make it more in-depth, right? Because right now it seems as if they're just, because they have the bosses down. Tibble was dope. He was hard for a first boss. If he's allegedly the first boss, he's fucking hard for a first boss. Now, that's coming from a guy that likes bullet hells. I don't know, but it'll add difficulties for this game. Because if they add difficulties, I'm playing the hardest setting for ground combat. I know they said they want this accessible to everybody, and they said maybe they'll add difficulties in the future, so I don't want to raise my expectations there, because they did say that that's not their goal. They'll consider it, but it's not, like, on the top of their priority list. But it'd be dope if they did that. Or added, like, challenges of some sort. Like, challenge modes, or just challenges when playing the game itself. You know, you land on the ground, it's like, before you finish the battle, complete this challenge for this additional thing. Dope. Or ship combat. Yeah, add challenges for ship combat. There you go. It's like, Halo Wars. Each campaign mission had different sets of challenges to complete. And you got, I think you got extra XP. I think if you complete all the challenges, you also had the ability to go find the skull on the level, which if you pick that up, you got the modifier. That was cool. That's cool. Audio visual feedback. Music is good. It's good music. Very good music, but gets repetitive. Rhythm. Rhythm needs worked on. But again, that depends on them. We don't have enough information from the devs. Hopefully in their next dev diary, they will discuss more of their goals when creating the space combat. You hear me, foe? You hear me? Get your engineers, okay? Get two people to talk about it. Get the community manager to talk about his perspective of what the goal is, and then have one of the gameplay designers break it down more specifically. So we have both angles. You have the simplistic view, the outsider view, right? And then you have, like, the in the nitty-gritty, the know person talking about all the details and the goals and the philosophy as they're creating the sort of space combat. So we can understand what they're doing. Right? Yeah, more information's needed. We definitely need more information before we can just... Because, like, right now we're spitballing right now, but we don't know what they're going for. What are they looking for feedback? Because right now, what we know is they're looking for feedback for breaking the game. Because they already seem to have a goal. Was that it? You know? Or are they looking for more in general? How much feedback are you guys looking for specifically? Because right now, if you guys are looking for a 10 out of 10 game, the space combat is very straightforward. It's not bad, but it's not amazing. It is, it's pretty good. It's enjoyable, it has cool moments, it's got creative moments, but hopefully they have something in store, because I don't think just upgrades is going to fix this, you know? Because if it's like, later in the game, you get this upgrade, and the combat gets better, that's not what you want. That's not good. So there was a point in time in here that I got pretty off topic. I was confused where I was going with the topic, so I really wanted to just straighten this out. We talked big on feedback when it came to audio and visuals, what I think they should fix, but then I started getting more into the rhythm of how the game should be. So when it came to the audio and visual department stuff, I was basically talking about stuff that they should consider for, like, bug fixes or going future with the game. As I was getting into the topic of the rhythm of the game, this seems to be more of a problem with the core aspect of it. When it comes to the game's basic combat, it's pretty straightforward and almost dull to an extent. I've had a lot of people ask me if is this the combat? And one thing I tell people is there are upgrades coming in the future, but that shouldn't define how to make it better. I think the problem with the combat as it stands right now is that it's very generic and very straightforward. One thing I feel as if they really need to be tackling when it comes to the combat of the game is it should not be just a way to get more jokes out or just more humor out or straight to the next sex scene or whatever they have planned on the other side, you know, the dialogue and whatever else. You know, it's I feel like I keep bringing up Doom Eternal when I think of this, because with Doom Eternal, with its combat, it's got this very, very satisfying loop where you don't even care about everything else. The gameplay is just so satisfying. It's like gun porn. You can probably see where I'm going with this. It works, you know? You go to the gameplay, it's very satisfying, you know? You have like this addicting, dopamine-filling gameplay. and you don't want it to stop, but you finish the mission, but then you go to these awesome cutscenes that people really want to even get to in the first place. You know, it's like you got so much going on. It's you don't know which one you want to have more of. It's almost like some dude who can't choose between two fucking porn tabs. It's dirty, but then again, it's a dirty game. You know, that's what they should be trying to strive for. And I think the way they need to be going for that is by working more towards the rhythm of combat. To bring up Doom Eternal one more time, I'll bring up some other game examples too, don't worry. But to bring up Doom Eternal one more time, it's an entire arsenal where you have to utilize all of it. Use the chainsaw to get ammo. You get glory kills to get health. You use the flame belch and kill the enemy to get armor. It's like this little triangle system, and you gotta balance it in this ballet. And they built it off of the full upgrade. Pretty quickly you get the flame belch so you can get some armor as well, and so you have that basic triangle that comes in pretty soon, and the game just builds upon that. It's got the main foundation, and that's what's important, right? It always has the main foundation, and that was very important. You get that very quick, and then you just add on top of that. Halo does the same thing, except it's a lot more simplistic with Halo. You have melee, grenade, and your weapons. Even weapon goes more in depth. You have UNSC human weapons for health. You have Covenant weapons for shields. The melee's for up close, doing quick, more brutal damage, but it's more risky. And grenades are for long distance, for crowd control, or doing a lot of damage to a more chunky enemy, right? XCOM. XCOM's another example. It's very ironic because they have grid combat, but even that has some sort of rhythm. It's more close to a flow, but still rhythm. You can switch between your different characters in whatever order you want to do it first. Let's take the Demolitionist to clear out more of the debris so that you can expose the targets. But then you want to use your regular assault rifle guys to get them, but they're pinned down by a guy up here. So you switch to your sniper, and then you take out the guy that's looking over and pinning down your enemies, take them out, and then switch over to your guys down here, and then shoot out the people that were just freshly exposed from your Demolitionist guy. Or maybe you use your Demolitionist guy for, instead of exposing the enemies, for crowd control, suppressive fire. Right? And again, use your main dudes to go on attack. Third-person games. There's plenty of different rhythm and flows there as well. And overall, I think that's what's lacking here. There's no rhythm or real flow. It's kind of just pouring on more stuff for more things to do in the game. Because right now, all we're really doing is we're just shooting. Right now. What if you shoot certain targets, and depending on how you killed the target, like Doom, or maybe depending on what target you kill, like Halo, you'll get drops from them. Damage boost, health boost, speed boost, more energy. What if the whole game is you expend energy, but as you kill enemies, you get that energy back? Or maybe the game gives you different weapons to utilize against enemies. You know, you get like tractor beam, you can throw the ships back at people, more for crowd control, but very energy heavy. Maybe you can have more missiles. You can have that one cruise missile that you fire once and then you can explode it yourself, or maybe you have like a burst, you know, 1, 2, 3. Maybe you have like a pulse shot. The idea is there needs to be more of a flow here when it comes to combat. Right now, it's just mindless shooting. Maybe that's what they want to do. And if that's what they want to do, I really, really urge the developers to go into their next dev diary and please, for the love of God, talk about your goals with the game. Talk about the goals with the space combat. Because right now, it's very straightforward. I want to give you guys my feedback, but I don't want to make you guys turn away from whatever you're trying to strive towards. But right now, at the current moment, it's flat. It's very flat. It's lacking in a certain department when it comes to it. You know, you have these cool ship varieties, but for the player itself, it's straightforward. There needs to be more of a flow there for what we're doing. Add something more. Give us something more with the current ship. And we can't just say upgrades are coming later on. There's no base that we're working with at the moment. It's just shooting forward. And I get it is a bullet hell, but for the way they're building the bullet hell, it's more as if it's one of those top-down bullet hells where you're just moving forward only. What if you had an EMP blast? You could release the remainder of your shield and then releases an EMP blast. So when you have like all those little penetrator drones that were coming after that ship that we saw, you go up to them, and there's so many of them, and your gun's not gonna take them all out. Blast the rest of your shield. EMP blast. Get rid of all of them. Then you have to recharge your shield. It's a very dangerous move, but it's a high risk, high reward ability. Maybe if you use that, you can get if you kill some bigger enemies with that, you'll get some shield pickups. If you kill some smaller enemies with it, maybe you'll get some health pickups from it. Or maybe a small damage boost. Kill 5 enemies with the EMP blast, boom, drops a damage boost for the next 5 seconds. It makes me think of ideas too, along the lines of like the endless mode. Like imagine if the endless mode was every like 5 or 10 waves instead. What is that lady's name? Yeah, so imagine if Lily had like a station set up so every 5 or 10 waves you can go there and buy a upgrade for the next couple of waves. You know, more damage, more health, more shields. You pick up a different weapon for your ship that you can use, and you're just switching between all these different weapons for different people. You have like a shotgun blast, a sniper blast, a beam attack, a cruise missile, and each different attack you use has a different purpose, has a different outcome when killing certain enemies, you know? You had those big shotgun ships that come after you, maybe you need like a push attack for them, or use a shotgun back on them. Or maybe if you use the sniper attack from a distance on them, you can get a different drop from them when you kill them. I don't know, who knows, maybe they have a little bit more fun with that, maybe they can add some sort of challenges to it, but overall, I do feel like we just need more of a rhythm. We need to like pull back a little bit and let's find out, what are we doing with the ship combat? Why is it satisfying? How can we play taking out all the dialogue, all the story, all the humor, everything about Subverse? How can we make the ship combat alone addicting and fun to play as its own thing? I feel like if you release it right now as it is, and granted, fix all the bugs and stuff, it's going to be known as kind of stale, straightforward, and a slog in order to get to the scenes that everybody paid for. We don't want that. I want you guys to have it as successful as possible. But either way, I do think it's important. Maybe not this next developer update, but sometime soon. I really hope they get their devs to come out and talk about what is their goals for the ship combat, so we understand what they're going for here. You know, they're pretty transparent as a company so far, but I do want to hear what they're doing specifically with the ship combat so we can help them make it less straightforward. It's kind of dull and generic right now. I feel like they need to add more to it. The humor's funny. The concepts of the ships themselves are funny. I like the enemy types, but playing it itself is just straightforward. There's no other way to describe it. It's just there. And I feel like they should add more to the flow when it comes to the player's combat itself. And hopefully they'll discuss more of what they have and what they're going for with the space combat specifically. Because so far they've talked a lot about environments, which is cool. But let's talk about the combat. How is the combat going? What are you planning on with it? And where are we going to go from here? Maybe they like some of the suggestions I threw out. We'll see what happens. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. There'll be more Subverse content coming, no doubt. No doubt about that. So look forward to that. And if you haven't subscribed already, do so right now because I'm going to be uploading all of May. May is the month of Pinty Boy. Pinty Boy's return! You better be here. Be here for the month of May. We have some big things coming at the end of the month. So thank you all for watching a long time. Run a hard time. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh, leave a hashtag finish if you made it to the end of the video.